This is the Imperial Garrison. What's your call sign, pilot?
It's say something. Rebel Rock Radio.
Rebel Rock Radio? There is no Rebel Rock Radio.
Well, there is now.
From the far reaches of the Outer Rim to the city planet of Coruscant, it's the podcast that gives you sweet jams and all those pop culture hits. It's Rebel Rock Radio. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 136 of Rebel Rock Radio. Today we are continuing our Are They Real series. We started the first one right around July 4th, or the weekend right before July 4th. And we had Are They Real Aliens? And we featured aliens in pop culture. This week we are going to do vampires in pop culture. So we're going to look at three main topics. We have books, we have TV series or TV shows, and then finally we have vampires in film. So yeah, man, hopefully everyone is doing well today. Let's see who we got in the chat. We have Isaac stopped in. So welcome, Isaac. We have Scarif. Welcome, Ro. I know that he's going to be recording with Backyard TARDIS, and look forward to hearing that when that comes out. But welcome. Pop My Culture is here. Welcome. Thank you. Tina, vamps are your favorite. That doesn't surprise me at all. You seem like a person who doesn't mind a little biting every now and then. But yeah. So awesome. I'm sure we're going to get more people as it comes in. But you know what? Let's start off with a song. This week we have three new songs. And you could probably guess which one I've picked because, well, I mean, I'm the only one here. So starting us off, we have Perfume USA from Kansas City. And their song called Angel Fist. Sorry about that. Angel Fist. As Della Snooch would say, let's get fisted. But yes, it's off of the Kiss It Goodbye EP, which came out this last May of 2023, via Centerwind Records. So let's kick this off with Perfume USA. right. That is Perfume USA with Angel Fist. All right. Hey, welcome, Steve. Just joined us in the chat. Hello, hello. Thanks for stopping in. Of course, you're normally always here. But hey, it's always good to see you. I appreciate it. This is going to be a longer episode, so I'm going to change the format just a little bit. Mention just a couple of things here that we are part of the Red 5 network. You go to bio.link/Red5 to get a lot of great podcasts. I think we have over 30, so we're guaranteed to have something that you're going to like. Hopefully you like ours. And if you do like ours, you could always go to YouTube, which is either where you're joining us now on the live chat, or if you're listening to us on just about anywhere that podcasts are heard on the audio version, come by YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and of course you can always ring that bell. Bung! That just lets you know when we come out with a new show, normally every Thursday around this time. So we do appreciate that. Again, there it is. Subscribe, like, comment, and ring that bell. And I'm hearing some thunder, so I'm hoping we don't lose electricity like we did last week. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, so I'm going to change up the format just a little bit, just because we have so much to get to with vampires and pop culture. Hey, Isaac's back. Welcome, Isaac, again. So let's, I guess the best place to start with vampires in pop culture would be the first part of pop culture. And of course, that came from the written word. History has always had a few staples when it comes to lore and mythology. Aliens being one, whether it's from outer space or just the advanced civilizations. Vampires being one, there seems to always have been a mythos of a creature that hunted at night and had various different characteristics, whether they drank blood or whether they it was more of a sexual nature, or whether it was just something to scare kids or scare people in general. Another one is ghosts, which we'll talk about on another episode. So we're going to start with the written version of vampires in this part of the pop culture. And this goes back all the way to, like I said, it's been written all throughout history, but the first actual recorded novel came in 1819. John Polidori wrote a novel called The Vampire, and it was spelled Vampyre. That kind of kicked off a lot of what was to be expected in the written form of vampires. And there was a long break in between there, almost 80 years in between the next phenomenon that came out. And that was in 1872. Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu wrote a novel called Carmilla. And that was about a female vampire, and that really kind of set the tone where the sexual tendencies and had that kind of that sexual mystique kind of went into it. That was huge. In fact, Carmilla was the inspiration for what many consider to be the granddaddy of them all. And that was written about 20 years later, 25 years later, in 1897. That's a long time ago. 1897, 1997, that's a long time ago. Anyway, and that was Bram Stoker's take on vampires, and it was Bram Stoker's Dracula. And that from there is pretty much where we get a lot of the mystery when it comes to vampires. Everything else seems to stem from there. It gathered up all of the things that were before and gathered up in history and rolled them all into one character, where he had so many supernatural abilities. And and believe it or not, a lot of people are like, "Oh, that was from Vlad the Impaler," and it really wasn't. Flies are killing me today. But yeah, so that's where a lot of the modern authors have gotten their interpretation of vampires. Let's see. Oh, hey, we got Ubaldo is now in the chat. Now the party has started, folks. Ubaldo is here. Welcome, welcome. All right. So, I mean, there's been, since then, there's been lots of written word when it comes to mystique. In 1954, Richard Matheson wrote a story that has been redone a couple of times now. And yes, we'll get to that. Anyway, the chat's talking about Underworld, which is going to be in the movie section. But yes, Ubaldo brought up another author, which we're coming up with soon. Yeah, so Richard Matheson wrote a story called I Am Legend, which was later made into movies. I believe The Last Man on Earth was one. I Am Legend that had Will Smith in it, which we'll get to later. But yeah, so that was a big one. That's started almost a refocus on the genre. In 1966 through 1971, there was a series of books based off of the sorry, these flies are just absolutely driving me nuts. It's really breaking. The chat's not breaking my concentration today. It's the stupid flies. Anyway, so yeah, 1966 to 1971, there was a series about a vampire and his family. And it followed the tales of a vampire named Barnabas Collins. So I forgot to write down who wrote that one. So let me look that up really quick. Which also went on to be a television show and a movie. Marilyn Ross was the one who came up with that one about a vampire set in New England. So that was pretty interesting. In 1976, now we're going to get into what Ubaldo was referencing. 1976 through, last I know that they were still being written, but that was the Vampire Chronicles. that we got from Anne Rice. Wrote those. You got books like Vampire Lestat, Interview with a Vampire. There's several of them that were all in this group. Very, very good books. Brought the idea of vampires to, I guess it'd be the 1800s, early 1800s, set in Louisiana. So that was those were very good, very well described. Almost took what Bram Stoker did and then just doubled it. It's as for me, if there was a vampire, they would be exactly what they were in Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles. Then, of course, the Master of Horror decided to give a run on vampires with his book Salem's Lot, which was written in 1975, and that was, of course, Master Stephen King. Very good book. I really enjoyed that one as well. He also had a lot of other books that had vampire type elements in them as well. But Salem's Lot was a key figure with vampires. They had there's 8 spinoffs or whatnot that also mentioned the events surrounding this city. So hey, if it's good enough for the Master of Horror to dabble in, it's got to be good. And then of course, modern day. I only wrote one of the modern day ones. And that was 2001 through 2013. There was a series of books. And let me look this one up again, because again, I'm a dunce and didn't write it down. All right. And so this was a series that was written by Charlaine Harris. Bonus points to the chat if they can guess who it was. Charlaine Harris wrote a series of books, also based in Louisiana. Watching the chat, see if it comes across. Watching. All right. Tina is first with True Blood. That was actually not the name of the books, I guess. I don't think there was a book title that was True Blood, but we'll talk more about that here in a minute. The actual series was the Southern Vampire Mysteries. Or a lot of people just call it the Sookie Stackhouse novels, off of the main character that she had written. Southern Vampire Mysteries, and there was quite a number of books that were there. Let's see if there was, how many of them there were. 13 in all. So right at a book a year for 13 years. That's actually a pretty good streak. We'll get more into that probably in the TV section. So what do you guys think? Any other books that I missed that that you guys have read that featured vampires? Oh yeah. I guess those did start off in book form. Who is that? Hold on. Let me read my daughter's bookcase real quick. All right. because my daughter has all of these. Stephanie Meyer wrote these. I almost don't really want to call it a vampire book. I know this one was Breaking Dawn. That one there. Was this the first one? No. First one, I guess, was Twilight. I think this was the last one. Anyway, it's thick. But yeah, I don't know if I would actually consider that a vampire novel, just the way that they treat vampires. But hey, Spencer's in the chat. Welcome, Spencer. Spencer, I really didn't look at too much comics. And Tina also mentioned Blade, but and I knew that they were Blade was a Marvel character, but I hadn't heard too much about the comics. Just shows how little I know about comics until the movie came out. Then, of course, that really kicked off because that was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it, and we'll talk more about that there. But and I know that there's been several others. I believe there was a Batman one that had vampires in it. There's been a few others, but again, I'm really not that well versed. It's more of a Spencer and Steve question than for me. But yeah. Any other? What else? Any you guys can think of? I've read quite a few. I read the original Bram Stoker's, and it was good. But I still think that as far as favorites for me go, I really liked Salem's Lot. I really liked the Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles. I Am Legend was good. I guess I really didn't even think about those as more as a vampire, but I guess the monsters that were in there were kind of vampiric. Yeah, I guess Morbius was one, but I shudder to even mention Morbius just because the movie still leaves bad. No. But all right, yeah. So keep on listening to them, and and we're gonna play another song. Then we'll move on to the TV shows. This next song is from Leopard Print Taser. Wait a minute. Where's Blue? Blue loves leopard print. Or was it Shanti that loves leopard print? I don't remember which one it was, but one of them loves leopard print. And so here's a Leopard Print Taser from Somerville, Massachusetts. There we go. Now we're talking. Yeah, Massachusetts. Anyway, the name of the song is Esta Festa Me. It's a song. All right. Here we go.
Didn't wanna come through, honestly, I never do. I hate
All right, that was Leopard Print Taser with Esta Festa Mi Molesta, which is actually a rhyme. Spanish for the party annoys me, or this party annoys me. Hey, but I like the song. It was good. Did I pick it? Did I? Anyway, let's see. Says, all right, let's see. Steve says he doesn't even need to come back. Yeah, you do. Sorry. Yeah, it's just the way that it works, buddy. You should come back. Yes. But if you don't come back, Spencer gets a free T-shirt. There you go. There's your motivation right there. But yeah, awesome. All right. So as we normally do, we also have different ways that you can support the show. One way I already mentioned, you can go to YouTube. You can hit that like, you can hit that subscribe, and you can ring that bell. Bung. Not only that, you can also go to Patreon. www.patreon.com/rebelrockpod. On there are different tiers for support. As little as $1 a month will get you a buy-in, and that will get you all sorts of stuff. Access to free content, exclusive content. Probably get you some free swag, stickers, whatnot. We also have a TeePublic store, which is right here, tpublic.com/user/Rebel Rock Radio. And you can pick up all sorts of cool merchandise, pillows and ball caps and hoodies and T-shirts and all sorts of things. I'm sure there's whatever you want that TeePublic sells. You can slap our logo on there and buy a bunch of it. Not only that, we have a couple of other things. Let's see if I can find this. Oh man, it's filtered out. Oh wait, no, hold on. Just for Steve, we got a kitty alert. There's Earl, our sort of mascot here at Rebel Rock Radio. Everyone loves Earl. All right. So yeah, I think that's most of the housekeeping that's out of the way. I just broke it up a little bit. See what we got going on in the chat. Maybe there we go. Leopard lingerie. All right. Well, I know maybe that's what Steve's doing on his break right now. Is he's designing leopard print lingerie for Rebel Rock Radio. Steve, sorry, you're not getting a free T-shirt. But yeah, well, I mean, all right. Let's see what else do we got going on. Let's see. All right. Well, here's the solution. Isaac says he can mail him one of Blue's shirts. I like the way you think, Isaac. Out of the box. Good job. Good job. All right. No, we're not selling the cat. That's just an Earl alert. It's an Earl alert. Anyway, back to our pop culture and vampires. Are they real? Well, let's see. They've been around in written word for a very long time. They say that mythology comes from the truth. So possibly, I don't know. Let's see what TV has to say about that. So I started looking. There wasn't a whole lot of TV, although, I mean, TV didn't really start until, 20s, 30s, where it really started kicking off. And there was so much wholesome stuff that was on there that until like the 60s and 70s, did we start to get into something a little more pop culture-ish. but it was a source to get news and things like that. So it was really hard to find some things about TV shows. But as I mentioned earlier, that we had the Barnabas Collins book that was turned into a TV show back in 1966, and it ran from to 1971. It was kind of campy. If you think Batman TV show on how campy that was, and you substitute Batman with vampires, in their the way that they interact with each other, it's a very similar vein of like the Munsters. But yeah, so I mean, which the Munsters was another one with Grandpa was a full-fledged vampire. I'm not sure if Lily was or not, but yes, Dark Shadows. I know I have seen a lot of those. I always liked it. I thought it was fun to watch. Right along the lines of Faulty Towers, British comedy, very highbrow type stuff. Steve says that Cain's curse from God was vampirism. That's interesting. I have never thought of that. I'm gonna have to do some research now. But yeah. Then moving on, next from Dark Shadows was a TV show that ran for 3 years. Kolchak, from 1972 to 1975, featured vampires. Curse of Dracula, 1979, but that only ran for a year. I really see What We Do in the Shadows. I've heard of that. I think that's a newer one, isn't it, Tina? Let me see. I've heard of it. I just don't remember where it fits in on. So yeah, it looks like that one is a newer show. Started in 2014, which I don't have it on there, but yeah, that looks like that was on FX or on the Fox channel. So good call. I missed that one. So yeah, that's still going on. I believe it's still going on from what I saw. But yeah, season 5 is 2023. So they must have, or either that or they redid it. There was one that was, the movie was in 2014. The TV series started in 2019. There we go. Now I'm right on track. But yeah, there was kind of a layoff from 1979, as far as I could tell, in TV shows until around 1990, and that had there was a Dracula Resurgence series that started in 1990. A show called Forever Night in 1992 to 96. And so then I guess possibly one of the more famous TV shows about vampires started in 1977. And I'm going to give a couple more hints to see if the chat can come up with it. 1997. Believe it was set in California. Had a female lead. She wasn't quite a vampire, but she did something else. Started off with a movie, then became a TV series. Sarah Michelle Gellar was the name of was the main actress, and Steve gets it. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, I could have sworn that this had gone on for several seasons, but I'm guessing that Buffy only lasted a season. At least from what I could tell, only from 97 to 98. And then there was a spinoff after that one with the main lead dude. Can't say that I actually watched the show all too much, but there was a spinoff called Angel. 7 seasons? How did I only miss it? Well, apparently I looked at a faulty web site that had them listed. I guess it just started in 97 for 7 seasons. That's what I was thinking. But then there was a spinoff. I guess I wrote down that the Angel spinoff went for 7 seasons. I must have read it wrong. But yeah, I had yeah, Steve, I got it. 7 seasons. I was wrong. There, you'll never hear me say it again. I was wrong. Anyway, so yeah, we had Buffy, followed by Angel, and then back there was another lull for. I agree, Tina. She wanted Spike. Yeah, F Angel. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Well, I don't know why they went the way they did, but wasn't my choice. But yeah. So there was another break in there for about 9 years or so. So right about the time that Buffy ended, they came out with a Blade TV show. It wasn't the movie. I guess I'll be nice and say that it wasn't the movie. And then, of course, in 2008 as well, came the True Blood series that featured Anna Paquin, who played Rogue in X-Men, all grown up, and playing a half human, half fairy person in Louisiana, and vampires have made themselves known to the public, and I agree. The Willow was very understated. I always thought she played an integral part in the show, but great character. But yeah, so True Blood, was that was the name that scientists had come up with for synthetic blood. So there was no longer the need to feed on humans. I can't really say I watched too much of it. Although that I did, I think, watch like the first 2 seasons or 3 seasons, and you had it was an interesting concept, but I just kind of lost my my taste for watching it, I guess. And then in 2009 was another show directed more towards the tweeners called Vampire Diaries. That was from 2009 to 2017. So I know my kids, my older kids have seen it. I think my 16-year-old now has gone back and watched those. Haven't seen those either. Steve, is that in, was that for Willow or Anna Paquin in True Blood? The correct answer is yes. But yeah. Anyway, so what other TV series can you guys think of that that featured vampires? I know I couldn't find a whole long list, but everyone has their favorites. And yes, there it is, Willow. All right. And I would agree with that 100%. So, yeah, we're making good time, but the largest and most extensive category is next. We already got all the housekeeping out of the way. So, you know what? Let's play our last song that we have here. I think this last one's going to take us about 30 to 45 minutes to discuss. So, might as well get to it. All right. And this one, this song is Danny Decay. Almost sounds like Decay, but Danny Decay with Roller Derby Girl. It came off of Cigarettes and Silhouettes, which came out July. Nope, actually, it comes out tomorrow, July 14th, 2023, via Rumbar Records. Danny Decay.
Ooh, little roller derby girl, lacing up for the world. Little roller derby girl, waking up with the sun as she does, staring at the city down below, and the smoke of the day's first cigarette, it burns on her clothes. Ashes falling, smoke like clouds that float above the earth, lacing up for the hurt. She knows skating life ain't easy for a girl on the dome, racing past the busy people alone. And she blows, flying round in circles like that smoke. She's in a little roller derby girl, little roller derby girl, little roller derby girl. Little roller derby girl, little roller derby girl, little roller derby
All right, and that was Danny Decay with Roller Derby Girl. Again, that's coming out tomorrow, so you guys got a sneak peek of that. Go pick up that EP. It's going to be really good. I really enjoyed that one. And let's see, where is it? All right, so Spencer had a good comment here. Originally a video game, but apparently on Netflix there is a new Castlevania show. So that got me thinking, what video games were there? Steve wasn't sure if there was how many of them were on a list here, but you know what? I pulled one up, and there were quite a bit before 1986. 1986 was when Castlevania came out for the NES, the Commodore 64, Game Boy Advance, Windows. It was all out for those. There were a few before them. I guess that the 1979 was the first one for the Apple II and Atari 8-bit called the Count. But yeah, 1986 had Nosferatu the Vampire, had Dracula on Commodore 64, Castlevania on the NES. 87 had Castlevania 2. Just trying to look at things that people might have played on that are not. Castlevania the Adventure, Castlevania 3, Super Castlevania, Master of Darkness on Game Gear, Night Trap on 3DO, which was an amazing system. Dracula Unleashed came out in 93. Castlevania Chronicles in 93 on the PlayStation. Bram Stoker's Dracula in 93. Vampire Diaries in 96. Blood Omen in 96. Vampire Hunter D, 1999 on the PlayStation. Dracula Resurrection. Vampire the Masquerade Redemption was in 2000. Vampire Knight, Buffy the Vampire and Blade came out in 2000. Soul Reaver 2001. I remember that game. That was a fun game. From Dusk Till Dawn in 2001. Blood Rain 2002. Van Helsing in 2004. Another Masquerade. Let's see. Trying to think of. Man, there's been a bunch of Castlevania games. There's like 15, I think. Legacy of Kain, Dead Son. I guess that one. Let's see. That was 2012. But yes, there are a bunch that are scheduled to come out soon. So yeah, it's there are quite a bit of video games that are out there. There's also Vampire that was out for the PS4, I believe, PS5. Vampire the Masquerade was also a tabletop role-playing game as well. Let's see. Yes, Soul Reaver 2. Skyrim. Does Skyrim count? I don't know. I guess. Sure, why not? But yeah. So films. Again, this is the largest category that we have to go over. Film started way before the TV series started. So I guess it originally started back in 1913 with the first actual feature movie that came out. 1913 came The Vampire. It really set the table for what we could have, or we could get for vampire movies. And then, of course, that was kind of blown out of the window by Nosferatu, which was a German movie in 1992. That was pretty substantial. Then, of course, we get to the movies that most of us are used to, and that would be the Universal monster movies. These started in 1931 with Bela Lugosi starring as Dracula. Such an unforgettable performance that he gave for that. It's still the top tier iconic role that he gave us. Absolutely, completely inspirational, and then such a legend of film to have to portray that, and then to follow up him is Lon Chaney Jr., another icon in cinema, to carry the cape, as it were. Yeah, Tina agrees. Loved Bela Lugosi. He just was so iconic in that role. And then there was a little bit of time in between. The Universal Dracula movies had 4 or 5 different movies or parts to it. Not always were played by the same actor. But in 1958, there was a company that called Hammer Horror, and they started their run of Dracula movies. And again, another icon of cinema took the lead, and that was Sir Christopher Lee. Modern people or nowadays people might not know him for but Count Dooku, Saruman in Lord of the Rings, had very iconic roles as Dracula for this horror company. And they made 7 Dracula movies with Christopher Lee playing the lead in 5 of those. He really, really loved that category, or that role. It really did well. And then before we get to the modern stuff, I mean, there was through 1960 and 1974, there was more of a free spirit type Dracula or vampire that we saw. It was more violent, more sex driven, and I really didn't write anything down as far as titles go, but they went through a period of time through the 60s and early 70s where that was the focal point, rather than the mystique of Dracula. So I'm going to break there for a comedic turn of Dracula, and Steve kind of mentioned it already. Dracula Dead and Loving It. And so in 1948, there was a movie about that featured Abbott and Costello, very vaudevillian, slapstick, Three Stooges type comedy, very physical comedy. In 1948, they actually met Dracula and had a movie about it. There was quite a few that fall into this category. Fearless Vampire Killers in 1967, Love at First Bite in 1979, Once Bitten in 1985, featuring Jim Carrey. Might have been his first movie, but Vampire in Brooklyn, 1995, and I believe the one that Steve was mentioning, Dracula Dead and Loving It, was also 1995. That was a Mel Brooks movie featuring Leslie Nielsen. So think Naked Gun meets Spaceballs meets Dracula. And you basically have the you have the concept for Dracula Dead and loving it. So if you like that, type of movie, there's quite a bit out there that features the comedic aspect of vampires. Vampire in Brooklyn was that was an Eddie Murphy movie, I believe. It's I like that one. I believe that was. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. That was either Sam Raimi. Let's see. I believe. Oh nope, sorry, my fault. Not Sam Raimi. Wes Craven. Wes Craven. So the guy that brought you Nightmare on Elm Street, brought you a Vampire in Brooklyn. John Witherspoon was in it. Kadeem Hardison, Angela Bassett, Eddie Murphy. So yeah, it was actually a really fun movie to watch. I enjoyed it. But yeah, so there's quite a bit where comedy is related, and I could see that. It's not one that's anything that you can take extremely seriously. That's so grim and so dire that you could make a horror movie over it. You can also make it comedy. And it will just keep right on ticking. And that's what I love about the genre. It's so varied when it comes to the different types of characters that you could see and how they're portrayed. But yeah, all right. So more on the modern era of film. And I guess we'll go to 1992. And this one probably everyone will know, everyone will love for one reason or another. But Francis Ford Coppola, the guy who brought you The Godfather, it's George's best friend that helped him with some of the technical aspects of Star Wars, did Bram Stoker's Dracula. This movie featured quite a cast. We had Anthony Hopkins in there. Where'd my list go? Sorry. Gary Oldman as Dracula, Winona Ryder as Mina, Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harker. Let's see. Carrie Elways, I guess is how you pronounce it. Carrie Elways was in there. Tom Waits played Renfield. There's just it was a really, really good cast that was put together for this movie. Covers the actual or a presumed history of where Bram Stoker got his idea from Vlad Dracul in Romania, and how and why he became Dracula, and then his his exploits throughout the years. Hey, Dragon Buddy came in. Yep, not a problem, Dragon Buddy. Glad you hopped in and stopped by. It's always good to see you. Yeah, Spencer, it's a really good read. Of course, they really embellished a lot of the details in the movie than what was in the book. but they really did a good job with it. I forgot one. I wrote them down kind of out of order. In 1987. Hey, F Class is here too. Welcome, welcome. Can't wait to hear this interview. He's been teasing it in Discord, so yeah, excited to see what's going on here. But yeah, 1987 had a movie came out. Let's see if you guys can get this one. 1987 had some of the most iconic male leads. Frog Brothers. I'm sure somebody in the chat's going to get it. Kiefer Sutherland. Both Corys. Feldman and Corey Haim. Lost Boys. There we go. Dragon Body got it. Yes. So iconic movie. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, I mean, got to be one of the best vampires. Spencer's never seen it. Spencer, you got to go watch Lost Boys. Got to watch it. It's great. Loved the Frog Brothers in there, and they even actually made a I guess a sequel to it about the Frog Brothers. But yeah, other notable movies. Dracula 2000 came out in 1992. Buffy the Vampire Slayer with not Sarah Michelle. Who was that? Christy Swanson. Donald Sutherland was in that. Hilary Swank, David Arquette, Luke Perry, Paul Rubens was in it. Rutger Hauer. There's just there's a huge. Seth Green was in there. Ricky Lake. That was just, a huge cast for that one. Another iconic movie. That was 1992. Then we also had, more vampire movies that were based off of books. I mentioned the Anne Rice books, the Vampire Chronicles. In 1994, we had Interview with a Vampire that starred Tom Cruise. It had Brad Pitt and the chick that was in Spider-Man that played Mary Jane. I got to keep looking these up because if I have too many tabs open, my computer will crash. Kirsten Dunst was in it. So was Antonio Banderas. Christian Slater was in it as well. And then that followed up with Queen of the Damned in 2002. They had to replace Tom Cruise as Lestat. But I really liked what was the guy's name? Perez that played Lestat in there. I really loved the soundtrack. So one of the best soundtracks for a movie ever when it comes to music, not score, but actual music in there, was the Queen of the Damned soundtrack. It was originally recorded by Jonathan Davis of Korn. But Korn, because it was on a different label, could not record all the music. So you had people like Marilyn Manson, you had Chester Bennington singing on it. David Draymond was in there from Disturbed, Static X. All these people got together to record these songs. Absolutely amazing soundtrack that Jonathan Davis put together for that movie. Yes, I wish they would have stuck more to the book, but it still was good. Then they also did, I believe they did an Armand movie as well. Other series that we got, we had Blade. Came out in 1998 with Wesley Snipes as the main character Blade, the Daywalker. Very, very good music that was in that one. Very good movie. I really enjoyed it. It was visceral. The scene I think that really got me in was the nightclub scene. Where they're all dancing around to the techno, and then all of a sudden the blood comes down and everyone's covered in blood. It's just, the music was on point, and it was just really, really, really cool to see. And then, of course, Blade 2 and Blade 3 came out 2002 and 2004, respectively. I'm kind of glad that they stopped after that, although we did get to see Ryan Reynolds in those. And that's almost like a Deadpool type character that we got to see a sneak peek of. So I liked his character in it. Was not a fan of Triple H in it, but that's all right. So another series that we have. Hey, are you listening, Steve? Hold on, let's see. Is it still there? Oh yeah, okay. We had a series come out in 2003. Let's see. Trying to see. Oh, let's see. Let's try. Trying to figure out how to make this work here. Why can't I see it? I don't know if you. Why can't I see it? All right. Anyway, can you guys see that? I'm still new when it comes to still trying to get to where you can see this picture, but it's not working. In solo layout, I don't know how. Hold on, let me try this. Yeah, all right. Wow. So yeah, I was telling Steve earlier that out of all the vampires and the types of characters that you get, Celine can bite me all day, any day, and twice on Sundays, because good gravy. It was such an iconic movie that you got both werewolves and vampires in the same show. And Kate Beckinsale really knocked it out of the park. I loved the look and the aesthetic of the movie. Was not a big fan of the Craven, I guess was his name. Was not a big fan of that guy. He looked like a Gavin Rosdale spinoff, and was not really too cool with me. I didn't like him. I thought it could have been played by a much better actor. So Underworld was 2003, 2006, 2009, 2012, and 2016. I didn't even realize that there were that many. I've only seen the first three. And for me, I guess after Rise of the Lycans, it just kind of, that movie kind of fell off a little bit, and I haven't watched the other ones. But I guess I'll have to go check those out. And others, Steve agrees with me. Craven, Victor. How amazing was Victor? Was so cool. I love seeing with the walking IDs. Kind of reminded me of Rise of Skywalker when Palpatine came out. Reminded me of Victor in Underworld. We do have a few more movies to talk about, and we're getting near the end of time. Michael Sheen as Lucian was, I agree, was fantastic. I even loved the way that they showed them transforming. It was really cool to see it. Because most of the time it was like more of a stop motion kind of or a blurring effect. And this one is just a rip it off, and then they, transformed into the werewolves. The vampires instantly, you could see that look in their eye, and the fangs grew. It was very well done. 30 Days a Night in 2007 was another movie. Trying to think. So I saved the worst for last. So in 2008, we had a movie series that had 5 movies in total, based off of that teen romance kind of abysmal storytelling. And if Stephanie Meyer is listening, sorry, but facts are facts. I know Steve doesn't. Yeah. How in the world so they don't come out during the day because they're sparkly. They have superpowers. Okay. I actually liked part of these because I've seen them all. I've actually read all of the books as well. So it's not like don't know anything that's here. It's like one of those things when the series was so popular and you start reading it, it's like, well, or hearing about it, it's like, what is the big deal about these books? What is it about this series that has everyone going crazy about this? So I picked one up and I read it, and I'm like, okay, well, there's more. I might as well read them and see where it ends up. Maybe it gets better. And it didn't. Talk about your love triangles. I think Underworld really had this on lockdown when it came to the love triangles, whether it was vampires and werewolves and whatnot. But yeah, I did see them. I have all of them. My wife actually likes them, but not my cup of tea. Although I will say that I did enjoy the concept of the werewolves in this series, on why they were there, and how they transformed. And I thought that the way that they transformed on the fly was really, I guess I'll have to put this up. Very possibly, you know, that might have made it a better movie. Who knows? But yeah, the first one was okay. Dialogue was, I mean, if you thought that George Lucas had trouble with dialogue in Star Wars, you're going to absolutely hate these movies and books, because the dialogue is clunky as anything. You know, it's just it's horrible. But you know, that is another series. It scored well in the box office, made a lot of money. Had 5 books or 4 books or 5 books, because I guess another one came out, but I don't know. And then, of course, the latest edition of a vampire movie that we have gotten so far, Morbius of 2022, with Jared Leto failing again at another superhero type movie. Yeah. I really can't think of too much to add to that one. But yeah, oh, I did say it. Oh, that's all right. I said it. That means free T-shirt for Spencer, right? Anyway. All right. But yeah, I mean, there's still quite a few that I didn't even get to. I knew that this was going to take the full time, you know, but everyone has their favorites. Steve said that it's eventually getting a new Blade movie. It's in the works, but who knows if we ever will get that. I'm not holding my breath on it. Production's been shut down. You know, 3 times now, 4 times. I know they say it's in the works, but we'll see. But all right, well, yeah, so that's about time that we have. So I'm going to end with this. Vampires, are they real? In concept, yes, I know that there are a lot of people that take things to the extreme. I know that there are people that try to emulate a lot of the power scene in the actions taken in books and TV and movies, but I don't think that there is a supernatural creature that is a true vampire. But that's me. I mean, everyone has their own opinions. To me, that's what it is. So make sure you guys stay tuned for WSTR, who's going to be up next. I really should have looked to see what their topic was going to be tonight. I had it and I lost it, but yeah. Anyway, next week we're going to continue our Are They Real series, and we're going to look at ghosts in pop culture. And yes, I am an actual lettered ghost hunter, so I do know what I'm talking about there. Anyway, yeah, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others. We'll catch you guys later.